Hello everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to the Demoscene report of the 19th of February 2025. This is a summary of all the latest news and releases from the active Demoscene. We had a lot of things happening this week. New releases at Bytes in Switzerland, Lovebyte also happened online with 256 releases, and KozMOS meetup in Finland also had quite a few productions for the Commodore 64. There are also some party reports from recent parties and a promised look at Jumalauta Winterfärjan that happened a few weeks back, plus a few random news and out-of-party releases. As always, I'll link everything that I cover at the description below so you can check things at your own leisure. So for now, just grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, let's talk some Demoscene. Starting with a couple of videos of Bakus of FairLight TV with his video coverage of Fjälldata. He recorded the entire demo competition live from the audience point of view, and he also recorded the live mix set by Dane of Boost Design. And talking about party coverage, it was released online a written party report by Smaugur recounting his trip to the Gerp demo party that took place in Sweden, dedicated to the Amiga computers a couple weeks ago as well. And speaking of past demo parties, let's take a quick look at all of the releases from the Jumalauta Winterfärjan, the party on the cruise boat that happened a few weeks back. Thank you Raccoon Violet for adding all of the missing data to Demo Zoo. I guess we should leave the demo competition for last, so let's talk about the other competitions first. The karaoke compo was won by Yobe by a single point. It's also quiet, winning over Total Eclipse of the Heart, performed by Amber. Then the music competition was won by Dithering with No Love for the Turfs. The photo and graphics competition had 8 entries overall. Game of Thrones here by Odor, the info screen that they used for the party system. Some baking soda, I would guess. Real-time tracing Cumbia by Alutut Maxulinen. Stereo Symphony by Sapwa Kuplakone. Last Galactic Defender by Mia's Yokuyua, well, I guess using some Lego there. And then the winner entry for the photo and graphics competition, No Need, No Colors on Brexit Island by Ulpia Englatainen Erasmies. The Wild competition also had 6 entries. A lot of them were some joke productions, some live performance by Kavi there. Welcome Aboard by Jumalauta Finland's Luftskepsk Committee. Then a trailer to an Atari ST game by Decadence. Also another game by ISO got second place. And the winner was Jumalauta 3-Minute Crafts #1 by Jumalauta Crafts Team and Puputsi doing their own Necronomicon sort of book with the Jumalauta theme. And we had the main event of the party, the demo competition. Fuck, the deadline has changed by Finland, does not exist in the last place. Then a few Farjan demos, as is usual in all of the Jumalauta parties. Also a birthday present there by Marmot. More Jumalauta Farjans and Commodore 64 version, TIC 80 version, and the winner was Underwater Adventure, not made with Farjan Maker, curiously enough, by Jumalauta, winning the demo competition at Jumalauta Winterfarjan. A smaller Demoscene event that also happened recently was RR Meeting 2025 in Poland, with only 4 releases for the Commodore 64, but some high voted things, so definitely worth checking out if you like Commodore 64 things. And speaking of Commodore 64, there was a little demo made by Crystone celebrating the 50th anniversary of the MOS 6502, the chip that was used in the Commodore 64. On an unrelated subject, follow-up to the surface-stable fractal dithering technique by Rune that we talked about on previous videos here on the report. There were a couple of new implementations of it. Arcom ported it to Minecraft, you can see it here. Although its colorful nature lacks some strong contrast, doesn't work very well for Minecraft, but nice proof of concept. And also RISC-V optimized the version of that algorithm to work on the Playdate, which is a bit more interesting in my humble opinion. Then I found this video by James Sharman getting a cube rotating on a Homebrew CPU. He's been doing a whole series of videos building up a computer from scratch, and he's finally reached the putting things on screen part that the Demoscene is usually more focused on. Interesting channel and series of videos if you want to learn more how computers work and the engineering required to build them. Definitely check him out and follow him. Then Burglar released a new little intro called Techno Triad, and Sarge published a creation time-lapse of his latest Commodore 64 image, Dragon's Hot. Nukleus is announcing a new Amiga Diskmag called the Diskmag, very originally, and they released a very empty issue number 0 with just a single article calling for people to submit articles to this new Amiga Diskmag called the Diskmag. Vurpo released an album on Bandcamp with all of the music she made in 2024 for the different Demoscene competitions and productions. Artstate released the Amiga Slideshow with some slides from Amiga-related things running on an Amiga, which explains why it's called the Amiga Slideshow. Then we had the Meteoriks Nominees Gala taking place at Mountain Bytes 2025, where Dojo and Shana presented the nominees on the 11 categories for the best Demoscene productions of 2024. You can see the list of the releases being nominated at their website here. There's also a list of it at Demozoo, a bit more easier for scrolling. Not many surprises from what I was expecting overall, but I will do a more in-depth video about it separately. There are always a few productions that don't quite make the cut for the Meteoriks jury, and I always feel that they deserve more highlight in some way, so that will be a nice way to do it, is to make a video about it. But we'll talk about that on the other video. Nice that the Meteoriks nominees have been out. Thank you all the jury people involved for organizing it. Then Mountain Bytes itself seems to have been a lot of fun once again with the usual OHP competition that's still seeing some innovation in ideas. They also had a very successful demo lab, which I only hope to one day be able to replicate here in Portugal. That really helps fast track some newcomers to being more active in the demo scene. They also had a special concert by Lucid and Katrin Huns, which I think is already up on YouTube, or you can catch the stream of the whole thing, the VOD of the entire stream on SceneSat as well. A special concert by Lucid and Katrin Huns, where they presented the submissions for the 3D graphics competition within the concert as assets used in the concert. So I think that was an interesting take, and I hope other parties will also explore similar things. Let's take a quick look at the results from the different categories. They had the 3D graphics special, as I already mentioned. Let's quickly take a look at the different entries that were submitted. David Lynch in Memoriam by Louisa in 3rd place. 2nd place Kawi by Raccoon Violet, and the winner was Mountain Bot by Oni of Poo Brain. The combined graphics competition also had 7 entries. This one looks like executable graphics, if I'm not mistaken, or rendered maybe. This one seems more hand-drawn on MS Paint or similar. Greetings for a Bunny by Raccoon Violet in 5th place for the Amiga. A Goldfish Named Eve by Brie. Moventine by JOBJ of a Little Fluffy Group in 3rd place for the Commodore 64. 2nd place Valentine Mail by Yugasine, and the winner was It Is Business of Future to Be Dangerous by Sule of Often Hide, with a very nice pixel art image there for MS-DOS. Combined music competition was won by Bacter and Sega Musics with Chasing Dreams featuring TM. And then the demo lab, which we already talked about, had quite a few number of different entries. There was no votings involved in it, so it was just showcasing the different things that were developed during the party with help from the mentors. So really cool, and also the diversity of platforms was also very interesting. So we don't see always using just normal tools. We know some people explored more hardware stuff, Arduino-based stuff. Other people were doing stuff for the NES, for example. Some people doing stuff for the Commodore 64, some people doing stuff for Linux, so a lot of platform diversity, which is pretty cool to see as well. The overhead projector competition, as we talked about, also had 3 entries once again. Kawi is having a ball, getting 3rd place. 2nd place, Nick Sondern by Wurstwop, getting 2nd place, and the winner was OHP for the win by OHP Lovecraft as well, with some interesting new innovations in it, a way to do some rotating messages in it. So I see people still being inventive with this pretty outdated technology and quirky concept of a competition. Old school and alternative real-time competition also had some pretty interesting releases, most of them for the Amiga. Confederatio Ludens, thank you for all your demos and games by Confederatio Ludens. 5th place Crime Badge Invite by Uwu Space. face using a chip to do some scrolling messages. In fourth place, Aux by Swiss Quality Group, just a little intro with some converted graphics there. Third place, Zax 384 by Lane, a little game for the Commodore 64 in 512 bytes. In second place, The Story of Joseph K. and the Cathodic Guillotine by Lane, which was a bit of a weird thing, a bit hard to follow the concept of, and we'll talk a bit more about it later, because there's also a write-up on it that I will show you a link for a bit later on. This one got second place, and the winner was Spread Points by Spread Point, doing an intro with points saying Spread Point. So congratulations, Spread Point, winning the competition with an Amiga 40K intro. PC real-time competition, the main event of the party as usual. In ninth place, we saw another submission on the Asterisk set of demos, adding to the lore mystery of whatever they are trying to communicate, which seems to be geo-referenced locations of things. So we have now one more point to add to the data and try to make sense what the hell it's trying to form or point at. In eighth place, Cosine 2025 Invitation by Uwu Space, targeting the Steam Deck in particular. Then in seventh place, Nevermind by DLG Crew, a nice little demo focusing around this Demoscene logos group from Facebook. In sixth place, a Commodore 64 multi-camera project, where you try to have the Commodore 64 look, but as a filter for your web camera. Muhu by Rebels, a banging 4K intro with some awesome techno music by Schlumpy of Rebels. In fourth place, Awakening from a Dream by Leon003 and Sylvia. They came all the way from Hong Kong to Switzerland to present this little 4K intro in the competition. They got a fourth place, but a very solid little 4K intro. Nice to see more activity from Sylvia again. In third place, All Filler No Killer by Spectrox, also a very solid little intro, just a 32K intro with usual Spectrox attention to detail and polishing little things. So a nice little filler intro there. In second place, Markov Chant by Limp Ninja, which was really cool, really weird. Second chapter to Vernal Festival from Evoke of last year, following this tape aesthetic sort of vibe. So yeah, really cool. I really love these kind of weird things. So thank you, Limp Ninja, for another demo for me to rewatch later on. And then the winner was Grow Beyond by Squirrels, a new group being formed doing an invitation intro for Revision. So the theme of Revision is, you know, these squirrels running around finding some nuts and growing beyond their original thing. Very good artwork on this one, solid invitation overall, so I think it really did its purpose and deserved first place overall. So congratulations to Squirrels for winning the PC real-time competition at Mountain Bytes. As I was mentioning a little while ago, if you want to know more about one of these entries, Joseph K. and the Cathodic Guillotine, the ugly demo for Amiga, there's a very lengthy write-up that Lane wrote explaining all of the different concepts and ideas and what they were trying to explore and put into question with the whole demo. Some of it didn't quite come across very well while watching the demo, so but interesting to have a glimpse behind the concept of a production in itself. I think it gives you a lot of food for thought as well. Then Lovebyte releases are still being uploaded. We had a total of 256 releases overall, and Byte Jam as well with 12 participants, ZX Spectrum Jam with 3 participants as well, but things are still being uploaded and the videos added and things like that, so we will cover Lovebyte a bit better next week. Same thing with KozMOS 2025, a small internal meeting for the extend demo group, but everybody seems to have a production for it. Maybe it's like mandatory to enter the party location to have a production. So a lot of entries here, and I saw at least one of them that was pretty good, so we'll do a proper coverage of it next week as well. Then there was a new video invitation to participate on the Tiny Tape Out 10 Demoscene competition that we already covered on past videos. Check out this new video for more information on it. Very cool if you want to program chips for demos instead of programming demos for chips. This is a very cool platform to participate on doing demos for ASIC. And then we have a follow-up to Tetris, Bad Apple, and Doom running inside a PDF. We now have a whole Linux installation running inside a PDF, thanks to a RISC-V emulator. I heard about escalating privileges before. I don't think this is quite what they meant when they said that, but interesting project so far. And speaking of weird projects, Virgill just released ModZart version 1.0 that loads a ProTracker module and lets you generate different types of visual playback jumps. You know when the pattern is playing backwards or jumping around back and forth on tracker music? Yeah, now we have an application to do that, apparently. Remember to do backups of your mods before playing around. Don't accidentally save on top of your original mod. And yeah, that's it for this week. Next weekend, we'll have Assembly Winter happening in Helsinki, Finland. Ski or Death in a cabin more up north. PCC Party happening in Seabase, Berlin for the Commodore 64. Explosive happening online only. Let's see how many productions are there. And then we will have Instancy happening later in the month. Instancy was mentioned that it had been cancelled due to the venue not being available. They have turned it into a one-day online-only event. So if you have productions aiming for Instancy, you can still submit them and see the live stream during the week. Then we'll have Undefined happening on the same weekend as well. Vintage Computer Carinthia meetup in Austria the next week. And then in the middle of March, we will have a Forever demo party in Slovakia to all things 8-bit. Also an Atari meetup in England, apparently, and then Fiona Data and Sax/Hack later in the month of March in Denmark and Sweden. Hope you found some interesting things on this week's Demoscene report. If you see value to these reports, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video with a friend, and donating me something through patreon.com/psenough, which would very much help me to keep grow the studio and channel and afford traveling to more demo parties in person this year. That's it from me. See you next week. Bye bye everybody. Have a great day.